It's not that hard. See? It was super hard at the start, but apparently like there's a YouTube video on everything. Did you know that? Like I like type in how to tie shoelaces with one arm, and it gave me like 16 videos to do it. That was kind of cool. Like I didn't know they had videos for all of this. It's really nice. And most of them are by Americans. See, that shows how people like have so much free time and improvise and things like this. And there were like people with two arms doing this, but with like using one arm. And I was like, why would you do that if you have two arms? Like, why? Would you want one? Okay. I'm gonna get up and make coffee. I need 2 minutes of motivation. Okay. Let's go. I'm gonna go to the wood rack after this to get food back. Because that's what I do these days. Well, like, okay, so it was like, now what is it, 2016? So yeah, like 4 years ago, we basically every year when my school would like finish at the end of the year, we would all go on like every class would go on like a different trip to places. Just they were more for educational purposes, but if you take like 50 girls at one place, it becomes more fun. So we'd go there, and this time we went to like all the way to the west of India because that place has like a lot of historical significance and stuff. So we went there, and we usually be there for about a week, and it was like towards the end of this trip. So we were on the second last destination that we were supposed to be at, and then so this state that we went to, it's like it's particularly and specifically like by law it's supposed to be a dry area because Gandhi was born there. So you don't get any alcohol in that state again unless you have a permit, and those permits are really hard to acquire only in that state. And then so we were like on the coast of this state because it's like on the western coast of India, so it was like we were on a union territory, so you could get booze there. So what happened was our driver actually got drunk. Yeah, so our driver got drunk, and then we travel in buses, right? So we went back, and we had no idea that he was drunk, and our teachers didn't have no idea that we didn't have any idea that he was drunk. And so it was like, whatever, I called up my mom, and I was like, oh mom, I'm having so much fun. And like, and I hung up on my mom, and we started driving. And then like, all of a sudden, like our bus starts shaking like crazy. And we thought it was like a hole, like one of those like road bumps. But it wasn't that, and then it like just fell to the right. And like I was sitting on the window, but the window was closed, so I actually have no idea how I lost my arm, technically, because it was closed. So, 1 second, let me get the thing. Yeah, so the bus fell to the right, and I didn't even realize at first. And everybody started to run out. So, like, I actually swapped seats from where I was sitting. Like, I wasn't even originally sitting there, I just swapped seats because my best friend was sitting there. So, and then like, so I didn't even realize what had happened, and then like my best friend got up next to me, and so she's like, oh, like, hurry, get up, we have to get out of here. And then I got up, and then like I realized that I was stuck, and I like saw all the blood, and then I just like fell back. And then like two people and everybody got out, and like by this time I started realizing a little bit as to what was happening, and then I was like fainting and then fainting, like waking up and then fainting and then waking up. And then like two of my friends, I think, yeah, like came back, tried to get me out. There was no way they could get me out because I was stuck. So like, yeah, I was screaming for help. Nobody came in because there were like people around, but nobody was really helping. It's kind of an Indian thing. You don't help the person, but stand around and watch. And that's very milky. Oh God, what happened? Never mind. You're going to drink this now. Yeah. So then like started screaming. Had no. I mean, I obviously like knew by then that I'd like my arm was gone and shit. Even though I was like, no, maybe not. But yeah, I was definitely gone. And then so like it was a really tiny area, so they just like our bus was, we got super lucky, like, so right behind our bus there was like, because it's a Union Dairy, there was like an army van with like full of soldiers. So they like, and then in front of us there was some rally going on, so there were doctors. And so like the crane came in, they took me out, they took me to the shadiest hospital possible because that was the only thing available there. And luckily it had really good doctors. So I just remember, like, after that, like, I just remember, ask my best friend, like, asking for my mom's number, or my teacher, I don't even remember. And then, like, just telling my doctor to save my arm. 6 hours later, like, they had to transfer me to a bigger city, 4 hours away. And there was, like, this teacher who was, like, one of my teacher escorts. And she, like, refused to leave my side in general, which was kind of amazing. It was actually really amazing, like, yeah, she was really nice. And then so they took me to a bigger city, and then I got up and had another surgery, and like this whole part was damaged, like completely. And obviously like, and then the next morning when I woke up, I was told that my parents were gonna come in like another day. And then so one of my friend's parents that lived in the area took care of me. And then when my mom came was when I actually like cried, kinda. Yeah, no, I definitely cried because I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with my life now? And then transferred to another hospital, multiple surgeries because like they had to like save the rest of the arm from like, you know, like, I don't know what the medical term for that infection is. Like if the infection spreads, you can like lose your entire arm. So they had to save this. So I underwent like, I don't even know how many surgeries. Like I was pretty much on like painkiller high for 15 days. It was really weird. And like then a week into the hospital, where like when I started getting bored and I knew that I was gonna be there for a good 25 days, I was like, what do I do now? So I started writing because my dad was like, I think it's time you should start writing, you know. And I was like, okay. So I started writing, and then it would be super big at first, and then it would be like super tiny, and then it like fit in lines. Then I went back home, and like first half a month, so I was like, took me a while to just like adjust to my home in general, because like it was just weird to be in that place, because the last time I was in that place I had 2 arms. So like every memory I had of that place was like very easy and convenient. So then like I had to get back and like adjust that, oh like, yeah, like I had to pinch myself like every couple of days to actually be like, oh like it's happened, you know. So like every place that I went to, it was like, oh it's happened. And like I had to start associating. It's like going through a breakup. That's what it's like. Like you went there with someone and you have the best memories of that place with that someone, but now that someone's gone, so now you have to have it without them. So that's what happened. It was really hard. Like seriously, it was very weird. Like
comparing it to the phantom pain?
Well, that too, because like the phantom pain would be a constant reminder of the fact that, hey Anushka, you don't have a limb anymore, but I'm just going to pretend that it's still there. And like, so it was like, it's actually like that, like, and phantom pain is a very permanent thing, so it's only and only up to you to like, it's like ignore it. So like right now I'm talking about it, so I'm pretty much like feeling fingers move here, like this, Like apparently it's in this position now. It can be in any position at any hour of the day. It's up to that arm. I don't even know why it is like that because I have no idea how phantom pains work. But like, so like I can like feel a little tingling here, which is almost like my fingers are moving, but they aren't. For
Does it hurt
obvious
anymore?
reasons. No. When it happened initially, it used to hurt so much that I couldn't sleep for like a good 2 weeks. This was in the hospital. So then they like found ways to put me to sleep. It was also because I'd been through a traumatizing experience, so that was another thing. Like my mom was all like, "Oh, we're not sending you back to boarding school. This was none of your teachers realized and stuff like that." And it's true, like it was their fault. But to be honest, like I wanted to go back. Like I come from a really like suburban small town back home, and there weren't as many good schools there. So in order to go back to school, and like I started like getting my life together. Like I started learning how to wear clothes, and it was like it's like growing up like a baby. Like you once knew how to do everything, and now you don't, and you have to do it all over again. So watched YouTube videos on buttoning up shirts, and like still couldn't tie my shoelaces till like senior year of high school. Like that was very annoying, because most of my school shoes had like laces, which is kind of weird. Like the sport shoes did at least, and so like I mean I still can't tie my hair on my own. Like that's something I'm not gonna be able to do, which is horrible because since 9th grade when I actually grew my hair out, it was this long, and I would always keep it up in a pony. So I miss doing that most of the time. So I had to get used to like open hair, which is very annoying because it's very hot back home. So that, and then I went back to school. My parents spent a good amount of money on a prosthesis, but it was so heavy and it was so much bigger than my like stump that it wouldn't fit in any of my clothes. So I ended up not using it because I realized I barely use that arm for anything. So it's the same thing, like use a prosthesis or don't. I do everything from this left hand, and I got so used to it that I was like, fuck it, like I don't want this anymore. So I rejected that, and like went back to school. It was really hard at start, but everyone was really helpful. Like they were not helpful. It was amazing. Slowly I got used to doing things on my own. And I got really mad by the fact that like I couldn't tie my hair, so I got the ugliest bob of my life. Obviously, because I have wavy hair, so a bobs will not look nice. Like, yeah.
How are you feeling now in college?
About my hair?
In general. Because I remember I asked you, like, how will you describe your condition? You literally did not talk about the arm. You talked about your bronchitis.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. I mean, I feel fine, but like, so here's the thing. The one reason I came here is because like people are more accepting, but another way to look at it is that people are very like, nobody has time to notice anything here. So it's almost like no one gives a shit about it, which is kind of great because then I don't have to give a shit about it. So I feel good. Like back home, everybody's so like concerned about everyone else, even if they don't know each other, that I think that was what was like causing them to be unnecessarily sympathetic towards me.
Is there anything positive about it?
Anything positive about it? It made me stop cribbing about the little things in life. Like, it is like a comparison. Like, if I'm like going through lame stuff, like, well, it's not lame because it's like not lame stuff technically, but in front of this, it seems like it's lame. Like boy trouble, for instance, which happens a lot, and or like headache, not coping in classes, or like if I'm like going through any of that, like, or like I'm like, oh, like life sucks, and then I'm like, wait, but like I'm saying life sucks on the basis of the fact that I couldn't complete an assignment, when I should be saying that life sucks because of this. When I'm not saying it because of this, why am I cribbing about that? If that makes sense. So like I like look at, I started cherishing things more just because I know that like I feel like you don't understand the importance of what you have till you lose it, because like I never went scuba diving, just like back when I had 2 arms, and now when it's become more difficult for me to do it, I actually did it. So it's like, and like because people were telling me you can't do it, I was like, no, but I want to. Like, why not? So like, it's just like you don't value what you have, and it's made me started to value things a lot because because I've realized that if this can be temporary, anything can be temporary. You know. Yeah, it's made me a better person without a doubt. Like I get mad about like little things like when I can't do them properly, but like I find a way to do them because, I mean, and I compare this to everything. Like if I could get through this, I can get through like petty issues like college drama or college in general. It's really not that hard. Yeah, that's about it. You shut it?
What?
Did you shut it?
No.
Okay.